Okay, public discussion on any in general township type of conversation you'd like to have. Please state your name and address, and please limit yourself to 3 minutes per person. Yes, sir.
My name's Andrew Zimmer, 512 5th Street, McDonald, PA. This is in the form of questions, and I'd like Mr. Brezek to answer them. Mr. Brezek, have you seen any opinion or advice rendered by the PA State Ethics Commission since the request was made by the township solicitors for an opinion on whether Mr. Kendall and Mr. Duran's financial conflict of interest precludes them from voting on any issues regarding gas drilling activities in Robinson Township?
Our solicitor distributed correspondence with respect to your question, and Mr. Shuckrow will address it.
All right.
Okay. Your question is, has the Ethics Commission done anything yet, basically?
Yes.
Okay. The Ethics Commission has not, and in fact, probably will not. And the reason is that I spoke with their general counsel, and the general counsel indicated to me that they cannot provide an opinion letter because the ordinance in question, what we were asking them to do was to give a complete defense if there were any conflicts. And nobody is saying that there actually are any conflicts. Okay, nobody has ruled.
Well, they're not saying they're not either.
Well, that's correct.
Okay.
And the facts have actually changed now since the beginning because the drilling on Mr. Kendall's property has now been approved through a court settlement. But so the facts have changed since when this thing started. But because the ordinance was drafted essentially by Mr. Kendall, they can't provide the opinion that we were requesting because action has already been taken to some extent. And so we're probably not going to get a letter from the Ethics Commission, and what will happen will be we, meaning our office, will, before this ordinance is voted on, and right now where we are is we have another public hearing scheduled. Okay, a vote is not scheduled on this ordinance. Okay, you heard tonight that they've scheduled, I think August 7th is when there's another public hearing. So prior to the vote, whenever that would be, we will issue an opinion to the board with regard to their rights and duties and obligations under the Ethics Act, and that will come from our office.
Okay.
And that's also called for under the Ethics Act.
Would you mind telling me how exactly your request was filed under?
I wrote a letter.
You wrote the letter?
Yeah, I wrote.
And how was it stated? Was it?
It's a letter.
In your name? Were you requesting the information for Mr. Kendall and Mr. Duran, or were you requesting the information for your law firm?
I'm not sure that I'm following the distinction that you're making. It was on behalf of...
I'd like to know how exactly it was filed. Who the opinion would be provided to, and who the opinion was responding to. Not only the attorney, the solicitor that asked for it, but the supervisors that were involved.
If I recall correctly, there was a meeting earlier in the year, and there was a motion made that we would write the letter, and it would request...
Solicitor, this is easy. Just tell me how you followed it.
All right. I'm answering your questions, and, if you ask a question, I'll answer it. You don't need to interrupt until I've finished answering the question. It was on behalf of Mr. Kendall and Mr. Duran, and that was voted on at a meeting. All 3 supervisors authorized us writing that letter.
Okay.
It's reflected in the minutes of a prior meeting.
So when you sent the letter to the Ethics Commission, it was under your name requesting a termination for the 2 supervisors, Mr. Kendall and Mr. Duran.
That is correct.
All right. It still doesn't tell me exactly let me go back
We
a little bit.
could-
What I
sir.
want to do here, sir, is be able to go out on the state website and be able to review.
There's nothing there, you can't find it on the state website. The letter that I wrote was a letter we wrote to the State Ethics Commission and was provided to the board. It probably could be available if you would like to see the
I
letter.
would like to have that.
We'll arrange for you to get that through the manager's office,
All
okay?
right, and I will stop Don in a few days to get that.
That's fine.
Do I have a little bit more time left just to make a couple statements?
You're over your time, sir.
All right, well then next month. It's always next month.
Yes, sir.
George Lucchino, Beagle Club Road. That impact fee money that we got, how much did we get? Is that for the year, or is that for, how's that figured into the game?
82 and change, George.
How much was it?
$182,008.30.
182,000.
182,000.
Now, is that for your well that was approved?
No,
Is that,
that's for the wells that are currently
Okay.
existing.
every year, do we get that 182,000? Or is it gonna go up as we drill more wells in the township?
The way that works, George, the way it is right now, now, it can change the moment that if the
Right.
governor changes, it's gonna change.
Right.
Currently, the moment the bid hits the dirt, when they go to drill a well, whatever gas shore it is writes a check to the state for $45,000 to $50,000, depending on market, or I'm not sure how that exactly works. We wind up with about 10 grand of that every year for 15 years. For each well hole, so say they drill 3 holes on one pad, $30,000 per year for 15 years.
Okay, so this 182 is that money we got at Quicksilver where they
That's
drilled
what
it
those
out?
are the existing wells.
Okay.
And that money is cut out whether the well is dry hole or not. But the maximum we can collect is 50% of our budget, or I believe it's 600, like say you have a $12 million budget, you max out at, I think it's 600,000, does that sound right? But the max we could get would be, like 250, something like
I want you to use up my 3 minutes.
that. Okay.
Okay, Donaldson
Sorry about
Road.
that, you can,
Okay, Donaldson Road, we've always had a problem there. When I was in supervisor, we had to install 2 catch basins. What it is we're having, there's gonna be a big problem there because the water's washing out of the road from the mines. It's actually 20 feet up onto North Branch. But it needs to be cleaned out so that water will flow, because right now it's flowing over the road and all it's doing is weakening the road. So it's a constant water problem. They've been having trouble with that mining permit. DEP hasn't released the bonds on that property, on that PUD property, because of that. But that has to be dredged out to get that water off the road. And like I said, there's 2 grates there to catch it, to take the water down the creek. Okay, the guys that did the mowing did a fantastic job on Beagle Club and Donaldson Road, especially at the intersection. There's always a problem. Actually, it's about the best that's been done, but he hasn't been back to finish the job. Okay, so he's told me he'd come back, and then I heard the equipment breakdown and stuff, and then it's been forgotten there. Okay, and the other thing is, like I said, the intersection, they did a fantastic job. Now, I see what you have proposed for doing some roads here. Over the years, the sealing, the township roads have not been sealed. Okay, and I think that a lot of those roads that are not going to be used by the gas company.
George, let me get you your 3 minutes, but I'll comment on that. So we do have, Beagle Club Road will be tar and chipped this year. I do need to do some work up on Beagle Club on Donaldson Road.
Yeah.
I should say, let me reframe. Donaldson Road is going to be tar and chipped this year. I do need to do work on Donaldson Road. On Beagle Club, we did go do pot work. We did fill potholes in on there. I do have 200 ton of stone that I'm looking towards using on the roads for the year right now. I can go over and take a look at it for surfacing.
I mean, look, I'm talking about all the roads in the township. They have, I don't think there's been anything sealed in the last 4 years. Okay, and before you do any work on Donaldson, you're gonna have to look at that water problem. It's definitely bad.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? I would like to let you all know, I don't know how many hours Mr. Duran has put in last week. He comes down here on his own time to help the road crew. And I think I would just say thank you. It's quite a gift.
It is.
Quite a gift, dedication. That's it, then need a motion to accept. Okay,
Let's go.
7:45.
Guys, that's about as time as 18 years I've never seen any.
Move in.